Hello, hello, and welcome to the Tech Team Podcast, where Black excellence and tech meet. I'm Janita.
I'm Charles.
I'm
Otis. We serious today because we got serious topics to talk about. So yeah.
Well, thank you all for subscribing, all of our subscribers.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe, share it with your friends.
Please.
We love y'all. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it.
Yes. All right. So today we are talking about
War.
God, y'all.
This ain't funny, but that was
It's
funny.
not.
It was
That's
not
hilarious.
at all. So.
But yes, so war in Iran is trending. This pointless thing that we are finding ourselves in. But wars, of course, don't just happen on battlefields. We see it in social media, in our financial markets. We're seeing it in some AI systems. And so, we're kind of gonna just have a free-form talk today.
Yep.
Something that whenever we have topics that we end up chatting about extensively before the pod, we know it's worth putting on the pod. And this was one of them that we just kind of started talking about different things that were hitting us, information sharing, figuring out, all that's going on. So, that's really a lot of what's going on, guys. What are your thoughts around this stuff, just to kind of get us going?
I'm going to start us off with a quote from a guy who died on my birthday, a famous poet who turned rapper, Tupac.
Oh, Lord.
We got money for wars, but can't feed the poor.
Yes.
And I got stats behind that, too.
Yes.
So, we spent tens of billions of dollars on this war so far.
In how long? 2 weeks?
Tens of billions.
Yeah, they're saying it's almost like a billion a week or something like that. Or a day, I don't remember. But we still got $1.6 trillion in student debt. We got 4 million people that don't have a home. We got a home shortage. We got $3.7 trillion infrastructure gap, $220 billion medical debt, and there's 650,000 people who are experiencing homelessness, and also 27 million people uninsured. So we spending billions of dollars on a war when we could be fixing our own.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, between that stat and seeing, so obviously we record this beforehand, so it might be a couple days old in the news cycle, but also seeing Jeff Bezos is trying to raise $100 million, and I'm like, sir, you're trying to raise?
Yeah.
Why don't you just spend? And it's even things like that with those stats where it's like, oh, so now we have to pay more.
Yeah.
Oh, you're refusing, which is a separpt topic. I shouldn't conflate the two, but we're not paying our TSA workers now because you'd rather have masked men in unmarked cars busting down people's doors. It's just a wild time.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in Iran, Israel, the UAE, and we think it's so far away, but it's still hitting home for us, right? We're still impacted by it. So again, to all of the stats that Otis just mentioned, and then our tech leaders still raising money from other individuals. It's all a money play, right? It's all about leveraging other people's money. OPP to get things moving. But it's hurting our economy. It's hurting the global economy. Everybody's impacted right now, not just us in America, but we all see it. So again, we're in another country yet again across the world. Those impacts are hitting home. So
yeah, what I struggle with right now, just at a high level, like, is knowing what's true or not, right? Because I'm getting my news from social media. Like back in the day, we got our news from the news, right? The news channels, right? Now we get our news from social media, and with AI and deep fakes and fake news, I don't know what to believe. Sometimes I see a news article that says we've lost hundreds of people, U.S. soldiers. Sometimes I see only been a dozen or so. And then I see somebody share something from a news article, and I'm like, what's real? What's fake? I don't know what to believe between the news and the social media. It's a lot to keep up with right now with this war.
It's a whole lot. And as we talk about, so maybe let's get into some of the talking about money, some of the things that we are seeing already, and some of the things that do infuriate me or make it, well, I think we're all infuriated, but when you lean in on the factual piece, right?
Yeah.
So even us seeing gas prices right now, inching up for regular at $4 here in Georgia, $8 in LA.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're trying to all put this around Iran when the U.S. only gets maybe 10% of its oil from Iran.
Right.
We get most of our oil from Canada, from here within the States and Mexico.
Right.
We don't even get a bunch of things from Iran. So even the what is it? The Canal of Hormuz?
The Strait of
Hormuz.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
That's what I was saying. 20% of the oil, global oil, goes
Global
through there.
oil goes
Right.
through there, so we are impacting other people.
Yeah.
But we don't have any oil
Greater.
reserves at the moment, though. Our oil reserves have been depleted.
Oh no, I thought we had several.
No, our oil reserves were depleted during the Biden era, and Trump never replenished the oil reserves here.
So
we still got some,
when they were
but
cheaper,
they're not full.
They're normally, for all you guys who watch, I don't know, was it like Landman? So if the barrels, right, or at one point were like $70 a barrel, but now they're trending over $100 a barrel. So we actually made money at one point buying oil low, but since we don't have it now, we go buy it now. We're just even losing more money.
Right.
So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But either way,
But yeah, like, so we do,
still, our percentage of oil out of there is so small,
Yeah.
and we really are wrecking it for everybody else. And that does trickle, of course. Oil does much more than just fuel cars,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
And so it's just increasing prices all around. Back to your stats that you say for people who really can't afford for gas to even go up 10 cents, let alone $1.
I see it all over my timeline. People back home, right? They're like, they're already struggling. Most of us are already struggling.
Yes.
Food prices, inflation, shrinkflation, right? Like now you got more higher priced gas, which you got to use gas to go to work, take care of your kids, take care of your child care. And so now everyone's complaining about, granted, it's fair complaint about the gas prices. When you're like, now I got another thing to worry about that I got to pay more money for when I'm not even making more money. Some people got laid off. So that's all these stuff is connected. The layoffs, the inflation, the war, the gas prices is all hurting us and everyone.
Transportation in general, like we all are on the highway, right? We see the trucks, so trucks need gas. They got to deliver products. So
supply chain.
If the truck prices go up, then it goes down to the products as well, increasing their price. So it's all going to get passed on to the consumer, who is us. So we talk about groceries. The price is going down, but now they're about to go back up, if not even higher, faster.
It's crazy.
So it's just something to kind of. I went to Costco to get gas the other day, and I'm like, that's still. I mean, it's still $3.69, but that's still,
Costco. That's
right.
That's crazy.
Right. So with the regular price, would like say $4. So like that hits if you're traveling to work, and that ties back into the whole return to office policies, right? People having to go back to office every single day. Yeah. So now it's like you're just going to be spending so much money even faster. It's a hole in your pocket right now.
It's funny you say that because I work from home, so I don't have to think about the return to office. God, this is a first world problem. I have to think about, well, I have to drive to the golf course every day to practice, and now I got to spend more money to do that. Such a first world problem.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I used to not have to fill up my gas tank but once a month because of where I live, like in Midtown. All right, and I used to Uber a lot. But now I try to get outside the city more, and I'm starting to fill up my gas tank more. So I'm now looking at the prices more, and I've seen it go from the $2.69, $2.79, $3 to now $3.89 for premium just this week. So
I mean that impacts you, but I think it's relatable for everybody can say what they have to do every single day or what they want to do every single day, whether it's taking their kids somewhere or even driving to the gym or just doing something. So it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
It changes everything, and that bleeds over to travel prices too, because it's costing so much more to fuel these jets. I was actually last night just looking at some flights. It was what, $2,300 to go to LA?
To LA?
You must be going tomorrow.
Oh, your first class flights that you take.
Yeah.
Delta 1, right?
Listen.
Delta 1, right?
We can have a separate conversation about how once you go up, you can't go back. You can't go back. And I save accordingly. But
those weren't Delta 1 prices?
No, they were not.
They were basic, whatever it's called now.
It was literally main plus?
Yeah,
whatever Delta's trying to pull. And I literally was like, well, I guess I'm not going.
It's funny you say that because same thing happened to me. I'm going to D.C., and I priced it. It was $4.05 if Tuesday at 8 a.m. I went back that night. It was $7.30.
Yes.
I was like, wait, how did it go from $4.05 to $7.30 the same day?
Same day. And it's not that one. So now just put that in perspective of like DC is what, an hour and a half flight?
Yeah.
So that 4 hours, I literally was so shook. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah. So I feel like with the war itself, right, even though some people I know, they're not even paying attention to that, we feel it in these prices. Like we might not be keeping track of how often we bomb in Iran or in the UAE or what's going on, but we see these gas prices, we see these grocery prices, we see all these things trickling down and costing us more money.
1,000%.
I hate it.
1,000%. I mean, so something that's interesting, and I don't know if you guys have any facts on your side, but like gas, energy,
Mm.
why do these prices jump so fast?
Well, it's a supply and demand thing, right? So in the supply chain factor. So because of that strip, they're blocking these oil containers and tankers to go through. They're taking different routes around Africa now. So it's a much longer route. So that's again those costs get passed down to the consumer. So it starts with just transporting the oil in a different route. That's going to take. think I said it takes 2 to 3 weeks longer to get to its
Mm.
destination. So yeah, so another additional time on a boat, on a oil rig or whatever is like yeah, that's where it starts, and it's trickle down effect. So yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, I mean, and to that
Mm.
point, for gas and oil and fuel, it's all speculation, right? So y'all, I don't know if y'all remember years ago, during not COVID but pre-COVID, when the gas prices was going crazy,
Mhm.
like it was all speculation. Like when Trump got elected, gas prices went up because they speculating the demand and the supply and the shortages, and so it's all based on fear and
Mhm.
speculation and the whole psychology of it all, right? And understanding how these things happening today are going to impact us tomorrow, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months, 6 months from now. So that's the impact. That's why the prices go up now, because they say, well, now you can't do these things today. 6 months from now, it's going to be impacted. We're pricing it based on that speculation.
Mhm. So pricing based on possibility, not
Exactly.
necessarily reality,
Yep, exactly.
which is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
And also why we see gas prices spike overnight,
right.
which is really
Yeah, so inflation. So the inflation causes that, or the speculation of inflation.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
And it all just impacts our supply chain, like you were saying, right? So having higher gas prices costs more to ship something, costs us now more to buy something, which now eats into our grocery fund, which eats into our gas fund, which now gas fund is eating into our savings fund.
Listen.
How do we resolve this? Because I
Listen.
feel like even now, just to my last point, even though it's happening today, there are a lot of things that are going to impact us for weeks and months from
Yeah.
now. Like that, we're like,
1000%.
why is it doing this? It's because of the war that happened 6 months ago. So we're not anywhere close to the end of this.
And also, I mean, there's no world in which someone declares war for 4 weeks.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
that's
Like, what?
yeah,
I don't imagine this going longer than 4 weeks. You declared war.
yeah.
Yeah. They're hitting certain places or bombing each other to, well, not say bombing each other, but some countries are getting hit strategically too, right? Like they're hitting
Mhm.
the data centers, they're hitting nuclear plants. I think it was an oil plant that they hit too. That was even bigger. Like, why did you bomb an oil plant? So again, is this like, again, do you want to keep doing this? We can keep doing this. This is really just like, what do they plan on getting out of that? You know?
Yeah, and the worst thing to me is the fact that, what was it, maybe yesterday? He mentioned that he was going to have hundreds more American troops on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Iran be like, yeah, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on over.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we can't go over there at this very moment, but just test it out. Like,
Right.
you're losing your power. And I think some of the underlying things when you're talking about how we'll feel it for weeks, months, the other thing is the USD will go down in value so much
Yep.
that we're not going to be the financial stronghold that we once were on top of all of this. Which
Are we
is
that now?
going Oh no, we're already not that now. But I'm
They
saying, like,
already don't arc with
what
us.
we once were, but now it's like, okay, this is only going to basically lessen our dollar more and more, which then does impact our ability to even travel other places.
Exactly.
How far can our dollar go? You know, it would be almost, well, it may not be that extreme, but it could be similar to, like, the rand in Africa is what, like, $1 here is like 18 of their dollars or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. Where it's like, if we start getting there, where can we go?
Right.
You
It's
know what
like
I
in
mean?
Colombia where it's like a million pesos there is like $100 for us. You like, you
Yeah.
can be like, it's $1 million pesos? It is like $100.
They,
So,
they need to change that up.
yeah, they do.
But that's more, I always find
Yeah.
those things weird, but that's another
Yeah.
conversation.
But that's
for
because
another day.
their peso is weaker than our dollar, right? So if the peso was stronger, it would be 1,000 pesos per $100, but that's the impact of having a weaker economy and a weaker,
It makes it
currency.
impossible for them to even then leave and thrive anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's really kind of wild to even think about like the foreign currency and how different dollars could just mean different things for different countries based off of what? Is it imports, exports?
Everything is made up.
Because right, yeah. So,
It's
but
the
everything
GDP,
is
the gross
made up.
domestic product.
because you started this episode with saying how much. Well, I'm sorry, no, you didn't. But there's not only are we in debt to a certain factions here in America, but we owe so many other countries so much money.
Yes.
Yeah.
We owe countries billions and trillions of dollars, but yet our dollar is stronger than theirs.
I just actually saw a stat on that, not about the dollar, but about the debt. And we are now like 39 trillion or something like that, which is insane. And we've spent $1 trillion in the last 5 months. $1 trillion in 5 months. I think they said that was a record for the fastest ever $1 trillion spent in the history of the United States. $1 trillion?
Crazy.
Like, I can't even fathom.
I was about to say, I can't even fathom what that is.
Yeah.
So Japan, we owe 1.2 trillion. The UK, we owe 888 billion. China, we owe 760 billion. And we were just talking about going to China to get suits.
Yeah,
it's so cheap.
Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, Japan, yeah.
Well, either way, we owe Japan
more.
more.
Asia. Well, we can go get a custom-made suit. And this is a trick for anybody. If you go overseas to India, Asia, any Asian country, get a custom-made suit, inside, outside, pick your material, custom fit, tailored to you.
Mm-hmm.
$100.
Couple, yeah.
Now, again, I love my people here in America. But it's tough I can go get a flight for $1,000. You're going to charge me for one suit, and I can bring back 10.
That's true.
So just,
if
to save money, yeah.
12, 15.
It might cost a little bit more to get there, but still, I can
Yeah.
bring back 10 suits and.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, but even to that Japanese end, sorry, I gotta say this.
Go ahead.
That damn the ambassador sitting next to Trump. Did y'all see that?
no.
Yes,
Lord.
Yes.
Japanese ambassador?
Yes. So the entire, like a full room of Japanese people with
okay.
our president, because they were having some sort of like delegation.
Yeah.
And so he's in a room full of Japanese people, right? You can already like
I know
feel
where it's
yourself
going.
tensing up,
What?
right? No, you can't even guess where this
No, you
is
can't
going.
guess. You can't
So
guess.
somebody asked about like, hey, what's going on with this, war in Iran? It feels like it was a surprise. And Trump's like, well, I mean, you guys didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor.
The prime minister asked me, why didn't you tell us that you guys are planning on going to war?
As an ally of yours, why didn't you tell us? And he was like, well, you didn't tell us that you were
y'all are going to surprise us. Y'all didn't tell us about Pearl Harbor happening. Mind you, we were in peace talks when Pearl Harbor happened.
Yeah.
So he kind of like laughed about it. It's wild. He's wild.
And then the entire room went dead silent.
Yeah.
He's laughing. Everybody else is quiet. So it's a bit of a shit show. So I know we talked about, some of the shipping routes are changing, manufacturing timelines are different. It's interesting too, in my business, I actually have had two of my manufacturers reach out to ask when I anticipate ordering this year, how much I plan on ordering, because and again, the company that I run is based out of the UK.
Exactly.
So this isn't even a US based company or a US based manufacturer.
Right.
And they're reaching out to me asking what orders that we're making so they can go ahead and source raw ingredients, because they're like, we don't know where this can go. And because times are now longer to get raw materials, it's better that I just go ahead and put in a PO now for August.
Wow.
So I wasn't even planning on placing the order until August, but I need to go ahead and place it now. So that way, and then of course, what does that do? That eats into my capital, because they can't order it and just store it for free.
Right.
So they're of course working with me on pricing, but it's even that now there are other hidden costs. I'm pushing purchasing up, having to now share this with shareholders and investors as we're talking about how to manage your money appropriately. But now I'm having to literally spend a lot too, because I too don't know what's going to happen with this war.
Yep.
So actually, now that I think about it, less 1.5x what I would have ordered in August, because I don't want to be in a place where now we just don't have product, because and it really does fully impact you in ways that like I could have never really imagined. So it's not because I'm like, well, we don't source from anywhere where there's a war. Doesn't have anything to do with it. We do.
Yeah, you're in a beauty brand market. It's electronics, food,
1,000%.
right? Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like every single industry is impacted by this decision to go to war. And like you're saying, you're now probably having to pay 1.5x. Other companies are going to have to cover that cost. So things are going to get more expensive, like you said, for the end user, for the consumer, because the companies are like, I can't afford to pay for my materials now, my raw materials to make my product to provide to you because it's too expensive. So either you got to pay for more money for this product or you don't buy it and now you got to go without.
Yeah, it might be going back to a previous comment. It might be better for us to go ahead and start planning out the rest of this year or even next. So going back to booking travel, and I just booked a flight this morning, but I booked it up for a few months and the prices were still decent. But I'm thinking about October, December, again, those long-term impacts that can have on us in our pockets. But you made me think about that, and it's the proper planning and what we have to do. And like, should we just go ahead and front load things now? Or because again, I do joke with people like my friends, family. I don't. Do you guys really understand that we're at war right now? We're at war, and people just kind of go about their days, going to work.
But that's what I was saying earlier. Like,
nothing's changed.
You don't think about it until it hits your pocket. Like you're not.
You see gas,
the news.
And
Yeah. You're like, oh wait, why is gas up? Because we're at war.
Right.
But yeah, they don't. It's not impacting their day to day in the sense where they're getting hit by bombs.
I saw this thing that was very thought provoking for me and made me sit back. Where it's like, hey, we can't. It's by design that you feel like you're constantly in a rat race. You still have to focus on work. You know, the way that we have been built as a country, especially around capitalism, it matters so much that you continue to work and grind that you don't have the ability to even pause and revolutionize. Like, because somebody was like, what happens if actually everybody was like, you know what, I'm sick of this shit. April 15th, no one paid their taxes. This year, no one do anything. And a real revolution. Right? Of like, no, we're not going to do it. But no one can even conceptualize to start that because they're like, yeah, but what if I'm the person they go after first?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or, yeah, but I can't afford to not have somebody, or most of America, which also is an interesting stat, lives off of that W-2 return. Or like that's refund. A big part of their like what they expect from a cash perspective. So it's like, well, they're not going to do it because they also need the money because from their experience, that's worth it. Right?
On that note, just so y'all know, you're giving the government a interest-free loan when you do that. When you get a refund, you're literally giving the government out of your paycheck a free interest-free loan because you're giving them that money in taxes and they're giving it back to you later without giving you any interest on it.
That shit is a scam, bro. So I'm sorry.
The refunds are cool, but you could, it's an interest-free loan to the government, so you're helping them out.
Listen, I'm always like, sometimes you need to play around with them deductions. You live in the best world if you get nothing back and you have to pay nothing.
That's what I strive
That's always
power zero.
The power of zero. But yes, so it's a very interesting thought. Now, I don't know if you had somewhere else you were going with your thoughts on your family.
No, it was for all of us to say, like, do we start front loading now to get ahead of the rest of the year?
I can't afford to front load. I can't afford to buy all my flights. Look at me like...
Yeah, I go put my business out there.
Speaking for the people.
I can't afford my gas to go to golf course.
Right.
We can't afford to forecast out and plan ahead. Some of us can't book flights 6 months in advance. So we got to book it 6 days in advance and we're going to pay extra, but...
I
agree with you. No, I agree with your point, though. Like, we got to forecast out and plan out and plan ahead.
Yeah.
But some people go, I
had a few different thoughts around, like, how I manage my money moving forward for this year. And I don't want to be, like, a more or anything, but I'm like, I want to take my money out the banks, honestly.
Oh.
Or at least out of the market and out of the banks.
Have actual cash.
I want to put it in a safe somewhere. Like, I don't want it to be in the banks at all.
I got on the call with y'all and I said, hey, are y'all taking your money out the market? Because I'm a little scared that, like, there's a lot in there. And granted, not all of it, some of it's in like a SEP. There are different vehicles, but it still is like, I might take everything out of some of these companies and at least then, because for everybody out there, it doesn't matter what number it shows in your app that you got on in the market, it's still not yours until you cash out.
Yeah.
And so the biggest thing for me is I like the number I see right now. And I'd rather have it. I can put it in, yes, it won't yield as much for the time, but I'll put it in a high yield savings for a little bit, wait for this stuff to shake out, and then I can put it back in the market because it's not. But my fear is like, if that thing goes down drastically, and I mean, I can think of all those people, I mean, it's a little different, but like Enron and all those types of things where it's like you got your entire, like, that is a big part of my retirement. And all of a sudden, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Vanish.
Yeah.
On a separate topic that we didn't put in our talking points, the market. I had a conversation with one of my neighbors. We talked about this, where I told her last year when Trump got in office, my financial advisor told me to invest in defense stocks. He's like, invest in it because we're going to probably go to war in the next 4 years. So I did. And right now they up.
Right.
I feel a little bad that I'm profiting off of these defense stocks, but like somebody got to make the money. Should I feel bad about that?
So because I'm watching industry, I'm catching more industry. There's this thing around ethical investing, right?
Yes.
And so one thing I wanted to do at one point was invest in prisons, and I never did.
Boom.
But my whole thing about it now is like, and I was talking about my buddy last night, where with people being out of jobs, prices going up, people are hurting. So what happens when the poor get poorer?
Yeah.
So that means more breaking and entering, especially in Atlanta.
Yep.
So more car break-ins, going back to more auto thefts. So does that mean people going back to prison? So should I go back to investing in prison to that point? So it makes you think about the market.
That's
so
true.
it's all trickle-down effect. But yeah.
I mean, I think it's always that like balance, right?
Yeah.
Of are you in it for self or in it for others, right? And so even in that thought of I can't believe you invested in defense, it's like, hey,
yeah.
There comes a line in it. I think it's just your own human, or your own personal value structure, morals. Because again, if we wanted to really dissect every single thing that we invest, all of us invest in something absolutely horrid.
I tell people that
absolutely
all the
ridiculous.
time on
if you
Facebook.
use a phone, horrid.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you bought Nikes ever before? Horrid.
Actually, I mean, we talk about Target, the Target boycott. No. All these other companies that eliminated
Amazon package that came to your house.
They eliminated their DEI. All these other companies eliminated their DEI. Yeah. We ain't boycott them. We still on their platforms. So, not saying you supposed to, but not agreeing with it. But I'm saying y'all pick one. Thank y'all for doing the Target boycott. Yes, we're succeeding. But like, do them all. If you're gonna do them all, go all the way. You know what I mean? But so me and my neighbor, shout out to my neighbor, matter of fact. Missy watches every episode.
Oh, thanks, Missy.
So shout out, Missy. I haven't shouted her out yet. Yeah. Shout out to Missy. She literally texts me every morning on the Tuesday. Happy Take Team Tuesday. Got my coffee. I got my episode. And she literally like, these things pour into what I'm going through every week. I'm like, shout out to Missy.
Thanks,
she actually was on our panel for our event too.
Yes,
so Missy's a full support. So I got to give her flowers. Thank you, Missy, for the support.
Yeah.
But we had that conversation where she was like, I can't believe you invested in. I wasn't thinking of investing in defense stocks because we were going to war and knowing what the impact. I was just investing because I know we needed to have better defense because that's Trump's mindset, and he, he said he wanted to do that in part of his administration. So I'm trying to profit off that. I wasn't trying to profit off the war.
Yeah, we just sold like $100 billion in defense to the UAE.
Oh yeah.
So that means weapons, tanks, bullets.
Yep.
Yeah, I know we have some type of tank bullets. It's a tank destroyer. It's $100,000 a bullet to take out a tank.
$100,000 a bullet to take out a tank.
I mean, to take out a tank.
So when you say $100 billion, it's really not that. It's not that much equipment.
Not a lot of equipment.
It's not a lot of ammunition.
But it's $100 billion, but still, it's not a lot of equipment. When you think about it like that, that's not your money's not being stretched that far when you got $100,000 bullets.
Yeah, I just wish our government, our leadership would take more care of the people that's here and focus less on just the destruction of other countries and other people, because they're bombing a lot and they're hitting a lot of random people. So again, and this is, I don't know if we're going to the next type of segments, but I think about like the bombs hitting a school, or it hit or landed next to like a school of girls and just killed like hundreds of innocent children, right? Yeah. And it's definitely a negative when it comes to like hood politics. You don't mess with women and children, right? And it's like we're bombing little girls. Like it can't get any worse than that. So and this is why I feel like a lot of our so-called allies, other countries are not jumping in this with us. Like normally it's like it's the U.S. and us and Japan.
I mean,
like, now
Spain
it's
was like, leave us out of it. We're not going.
No. Like there's no reason.
Switzerland became un-Switzerland.
Oh no, what?
Switzerland
for being like, I don't pick a side.
And said, no, this is wrong. Like, because everybody knows it was one of those, war.
Yeah.
Like no reason, no nothing.
Switzerland picked a side. Now we ain't unprecedented.
That's why I said Switzerland isn't even Switzerland anymore.
So people rely. Well, I'm sorry. Other countries normally rely on the U.S. for security.
Yes.
They rely on the Middle East for energy.
Right.
So it's like
Energy or
which is more
protection. Right.
important? Yeah, we got to live. We got to survive. We need lights. We need food. We need water.
Right.
So electricity.
Especially today, it might have been something a little easier to get away with maybe like 100 years ago. But now where there's nothing, I actually saw this hilarious TikTok where this lady was like, what it feels like now is like, why is there a QR code for Wi-Fi on my socks? Wait, sorry, you got to connect the Bluetooth to the wireless to the, like she basically saying everything requires some sort of technology to back it. And so in this day and age, you drastically change how life is experienced if you decide to choose protection over energy.
Right. Yeah. I choose both. Can I get some protection and some energy?
I question the protection. Like, why do we even need protection? It's just because some people in certain countries are going to do what they want to do, but it's like...
Fear is profitable.
That part,
Fear is very profitable. That's what a lot of this is. Even a lot of the things that basically, I put on one of my stories once because I really wanted to know. I was like, hey, I'm not coming for anybody who, finds these values. But I was like, I was just behind a truck that had God, guns, and pro-life, like all in one. And I said, I don't understand how you can actually have this thought process. Like, somebody please explain it to me. I'm actually coming curious. I'm not going to attack you or do anything but I want to understand. And one of my friends, who later then got blocked because I was like, well, now I know who you are.
Blocked.
I do judge. No. But, she was like, yeah, well, the reason is like, I believe in pro-guns because I have to protect my kids. And I'm like, from who? And she's like, well, you just never know. And I said, hey, I know you. You can't really put who in the neighborhood that you live in. Like, have you ever encountered or even come close to this? Like, if there were a world that this would exist, it wouldn't be you in your $700,000 home in a gated community that's full of palm color people that look just like you. You know what I mean? Like, who is like? Do you think people are really riding till dawn to go and snatch up little palm color babies out of their like? And if it happens, it's I don't know. I just don't understand some things.
And the thing about even, I know this is probably, I won't sit on this topic too long here, but even with, like, when it comes to gun safety, most people don't go through gun training.
No.
And I've been in people's houses and friends' houses where it's like, and I see them handle a gun a certain way, I get pissed automatically. You could take all of us out, because one slip of a finger, one drop, it's like the bullet will go off or get ricochet. Don't come around me if you've never been trained. I'm sorry. Just don't do that.
Gun safety is the most important piece of owning a gun.
Yes.
Sure.
But roping this back around to fear is profitable. It charges a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideology is based out of fear and not facts. Hey, Tech Team family. We hope you enjoyed episode 38. Honestly, we got in and just started talking. And after shooting, we realized this would probably need to be 2 episodes. So come back next week. Also, let us know. Did you enjoy this change of format? And give us some feedback. But as always, like, share, subscribe, and come back next week for part 2 of War.